This is a 66 model 325 horsepower Pontiac 389 that I got that was locked up. It come with my Turbo 400 transmission that I wanted. And it got a little bit of water in it last night, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil out of it, which is already locked out. But the cylinders looked, they didn't have any corrosion, so I'm gonna drain the oil in it, flip it over, make sure I get all the water and oils that I've already put in these out. Now I'm gonna put this Evapor Rust stuff, Rust-Oleum's version of it, inside this and let it sit for a while. And hopefully I can get it unstuck. If not, I'll pull the heads and pull this apart until I do get it unstuck, because it looks like a good engine to build. Or if I could get it unstuck without snapping the ring, it would be a good engine to run, because it only has about 18,000 miles on it. Even look at that. So I mean, you can tell it's low mileage. Went ahead and got all the water out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of that Evapor Rust stuff in it. Didn't have much oil come out of the oil pan. I guess it was drained, but the cam's got a little bit of rust on it from a while back. That water's just from where I cracked it open, but I'll let it soak for a couple days, and then I might even pull it apart this weekend. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and rebuild this, a little buck rebuild. Bearings are probably fine. I'll probably just re-ring it, re-gasket it, maybe lap the valves, get some roller tip rocker arms, and maybe instead of forged rods or something. Let's see. Might even build a high performance engine, who knows? Well, I let that stuff sit in there for a while. It's been a few days, maybe a week. And it did eat this stuff pretty clean. But I haven't even emptied it yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rocker arms and pull these heads off. And just go ahead and see what's inside this motor, because I am curious. Well, I got the rocker arms off now, and these are pressing studs. So if I go put a different cam in this motor, I probably want to take and pin these. Take and drill a hole and put a pin through there too. But these valves look nice, and so do the rocker arms. Most of the time they're worn out. So I mean, that is another sign that this is a 18,000 mile. I was gonna take the manifolds off, but can't find the right size for those. They look like ½ inch, but 9/16 is too big. But they gotta be one or the other. So I'll fool with that here in a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this head. Well, I pulled the head off, and there you see that this kind of like gray stuff. That's rust that's been converted. But so I might end up having to bore this motor. Really, I have to pull the pistons out and hone it to really be able to tell. But the valves are nice and thick, so I'm hoping I can take this sucker, the heads apart, and just do a light port job and lap all these valves and be good on that, because I don't have any miles, and give me some roller tips. But if I do end up having to bore this motor, depends on how much I have to bore it, I might look into getting a stroker kit for it. But if I don't have to bore it, I might just leave it a stock motor. Might be something a GTO purist would want, but you never can tell. So now I might take this alternator and stuff off and this power steering pump, and then I'll pull this head off. Well, I got that whole pulley system off, everything but this will break it, but I'm gonna leave that on the head for now, because that's can be a confusing setup, I'm sure, and I don't want to have a lot of trouble when I go to put it back. Which, I mean, it's just good to know that that goes there, and I won't lose it there either. Well, just pulled this head off. Still got to clean this chunky stuff out, but there's still a little surface rust stuff in here, so hopefully this thing won't need to be bored. But you know, so far it don't look too bad. Well, I'm gonna dump that out and see what we're working. Well, I believe this thing's gonna have to be bored. See that line right there? That is where water had come in, and that's a little pitted through there. I'm not taking pistons out and see, but I do believe this thing will have to be bored. So if that's the case, I'll probably pull the cam and everything out and just use a different cam. But I mean, I wouldn't be scared to use this cam. Probably I'd probably clean it up pretty good. Somebody might want the distributor. I could not get out, so I just took a hammer, tapped on the vacuum advance, and bang, it come out. Just a little bit of rust down in there holding it back. So I think I'm gonna go and flip this sucker over, see what's in the oil pan. See what the bottom end of the motor looks like. Well, there's a little bit of sludge in the pan, but this motor does have a factory windage tray, and it looks like someone had been in here before because it's silicone. Put a new timing chain in there, I guess, which is a possibility, but I don't think they used engine silicone from the factory, and that looks like a Velcro gasket to me, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this goop in there and let it sit for a while. I'm gonna try and get this thing unstuck before I go any farther. But it'll be good for a while. I appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And this maybe could be a possible stroker build. It'll probably have to be bored 20 to 30 thousandths. It's hard to tell at this point, but we'll see about that in the future. Y'all take care.